Hi, welcome to the Daily Tarot Buffet brought to you by Vertex of Abundance. We're just turning on the AI here. I'm gonna move the camera. Pardon me, darling. That's aggressive. Rawr. Okay, so this is for the transiting moon into Gemini. I was sent to deliberate the findings for the transiting moon into Gemini, and I ran to the table. I went into meditation for something else, and the goddess was like, "Get yo!" So time to do this, I suppose. No, there's no supposing. Definitely. Grant me a moment. I am unprepared. So, if you're new, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. It is a delight and an honor and a privilege and a pleasure to serve you. Thank you for allowing me to do so. If anything resonates deeply with you, go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, leave a review, book concessions, and a donation. Since this is Taurus season and we are dealing with the transiting moon in Gemini, this is a second house event. During the month of Taurus and the moon transiting any any energy going on in Gemini during Taurus season is a second house event. Right now we have a lunar transition, a lunar ingress into the sign of Gemini for about 2.5 days. It's 59 hours. So there's going to be lunar energy, which is insight, intuition, according to Gemini energy, which is intellect, reasoning, communication, according to the second house. So there's going to be values, the mouth, the voice. There's also going to be foundational principles, maybe values, maybe sustenance. That's why we talk about the money or the assets or the possessions that we attain. Is what we the foundation we build our life upon. Okay. And why don't we go ahead and get in here and fit in here and see what we got going on? Vertex of Abundance is the Galactic Temple of Ascension, delivering sacred messages from behind the veil. From Liminal 11 Publishing, we'll be using the Modern Witch Tarot. Okay, dear, and that's by Lisa Sturl. To impose the guidance, that'll be the baseline reading here. Let's go ahead and get that energy. I hope you're doing well. If you're new, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. You belong, so welcome home. Oops. And we got lots of energy here. Okay, so we always got to start with face up. The baseline energy for this thread will be La Luna, the High Priestess, Seven of Pentacles, Magician, Four of Pentacles. So I heard Cuarto Denari. That's Four of Pentacles. That's Etruscan, which is like ancient Roman. Give me just a second. Here's a seat underneath the table. She might get back up here. I just have to put the chair down. This grant me a second. You gotta lower the chair. Okay. Oh, sorry, babe. She tried to come back and my hand blocked her. Okay. So the overall baseline energy for this entire reading as we're gathered here today for the Daily Tarot Buffet is High Priestess, Seven of Pentacles, Magician, Four of Pentacles. So there's four cards that are going to delineate, perpetuate this entire reading for about 30 to 45 minutes. And there will be other cards to clarify or modify, but the baseline general energy, the nature of the spread will again be the High Priestess, the Seven of Pentacles, the Magician, and the Four of Pentacles. And again, I was sitting here to deliberate the findings for the transiting moon into Gemini during Taurus season. So again, I will be facilitating the open channeled reading for any type of second house energy related to Taurus or Gemini. Okay. Okay, sweetheart, you gotta sit down. Baba's working. Thank you, darling. Okay, Cariño. This is Priestess Chandi, by the way. You wanna say hi to everybody? She don't care. She don't care. Okay, so let's see. The overall energy, High Priestess, Seven of Pentacles, Vegeto magician, quarto denare. So we definitely have some loosely related, Strigheria Benederia, some kind of Santeria, Hocus Pocus, Abracadabra. So High Priestess is like exalted, gracious, benevolent influence over an entire cycle. Seven of Pentacles is like, reap what you sow energy. This is the sowing. Also, another word for sowing would be investments. It can be a plan, a strategy, sometimes even an agenda. Typically, you see strategy, agenda in Seven of Pentacles. You would see plan, orchestrations, machinations in the Three of Pentacles. So we have the Seven of Pentacles here with the Magician. That can be altar work, especially root work, because I'm hearing Strigheria Benedetti. I'm speaking Etruscan suddenly. So, and we had it with the Magician and the Four of Pentacles. So the Magician is imposing will upon the environment, surrounding location. Magic is turning your ideas into manifestation. So the Magician could also be Mercury in the chart. Same with the High Priestess, that could be the Moon somewhere in the chart. But if it's not, it would be intellect, reasoning, communication, the third house, which is mostly Gemini. And then we could also be dealing with some type of imposing one's will. There's also preparation, preparazioni. Okay, preparazioni. So there's something, somebody's trying to impose, there's this entity ideology here trying to impose actions, events, occurrences on something that's been set up or something that where the foundation's already been laid. Another thing for the Seven of Pentacles. And then we have the Four of Pentacles, Quattro Denari here. So that would mean securing a position. Four of Pentacles. It would also mean being rigid or attached to something. Miserly and bitter, if there's any type of negative energy here. Non che male. So I'm hearing not too bad. Non che male. So I don't think it's evil, sinister, wicked. I don't think it's malicious, malevolent, malignant. I think there's some kind of combinatory accumulation of energy, energy ideology that's bearing upon us or bearing upon our energy field, and we're doing the mostest. We're doing our thuck dizzle, our hustle, our grind, our flow, and it's kind of like abating whatever energy is being, rukuku, rakaka, whatever energy is being projected our way. Because the second, third house, oftentimes we deal with what comes across our path, how we react, how we respond, how we process. Okay, baby, I'm working, sweetheart. Don't fall off my lap with your bobcat nails. You're gonna scratch my jewels. Okay, watch it. So the thing about this is something's coming across our path and we've secured our position. Now, something is trying to make its way in. I don't know what that is, but I am sensing it. Okay, watch it. Don't slip, honey. Okay, baby. Okay. I'm getting down. So the thing here is that, yeah, there's something doing the work. I don't know what this is. I'm not liking it. The High Priest is Eight of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles. That's not good. I don't like it. I need clarity. I don't got it. Six of Wands. The other side thinks that they're successful, but they're trying to use some type of magic or gifts or energy or pizzazz. Six of Wands is receiving glory. So they were gifted with something prior to this life or coming into this life. Or said differently, there's some kind of coveted or elite spot or status. Definitely with Taurus, Torino, the sign that we're in. That's one of the five royal signs. Or the third house often deals with craft, talent, ability, style. Now we have the Three of Pentacles that I was talking about earlier. So I was feeling it already. Yeah. And then, so we've got to surrender to God here. That's the thing to do. With the Chariot also and the Hangman, what that tells me is that some type of victory has been delayed, some type of moving on, moving forward, or initiation has been waylaid or delayed. We have a delayed victory here, but it will happen. So let's see here. Seven of Pentacles with the Magician means that about a week ago, we secured some kind of spot. High Priestess with the Seven of Pentacles means about a week ago, some kind of cycle got brought to the fore. High Priestess and the Magician could mean somebody that's a really skillful magician, intuitive, High Priestess. Also here, we may actually be dealing with another being, with another like person or being, entity, ideology, enemy maybe, because you have like the minor or the spiritual aspect of the male female. So in its novicehood or its spiritual aspect, really esoteric. You have the high priestess female energy, you have the magician male energy, regardless of the body, the gender assigned or identified, right? And then you have like in the physical world, you have the l'imperatore, la imperatrice, the emperor, the empress. So that's again masculine, feminine, and then which we have the emperor, and then you have in the spiritual world, not the esoteric, not the material, but in the spiritual world, you have the strength card grandmother and you have the hermit grandfather. So we have two aspects of the masculine, and we also have the initiation. So moving on, moving forward, turning into, growing into a bigger, brighter, and better here with the chariot. So we have the Queen of Swords with the Empress. So we have the Emperor, the Empress, the Magician, the okay, you hear what I'm saying? So Magician, High Priestess, Emperor, Empress. So are you catching the masculine, feminine coming through, pulling through, coming hard, coming harder? There's this energy here of a dark feminine, Empress in the chariot, launching, lobbing attacks our way, trying to tear us down, tear us apart, coming at us, coming for us in some kind of way, some kind of shape, some kind of form, whatever, what have you, so on and so forth. All right, so let's see what this is, what this be, because I don't like it. Four of Swords, Ace of Cups, Five of Wands, King of Swords, Ten of Pentacles, Sun card. So there's some kind of energy, entity, ideology here that thinks they're in some kind of union with us, union, communion, partnership, something like that. Matched up, whatever, what have you, okay? Now, it's a lesser form, okay? But it's divinely ordained as well with the Empress and the Emperor. Okay, but we don't have a Two of Cups. We don't have a Four of Wands. We don't have a Temperanza, Temperance. We don't have the Amante, the Lover. So also, if I'm speaking Etruscan on some of these cards, it means that Temperanza. So it means that somebody was finagling some type of union, and or they were hiding in our energy, and or they're cloaking themselves like a shapeshifter. And then I said, Ye Amante. So that would tell me that Amatrice, like there's some kind of union, false union, unsanctioned, unauthorized union in the spirit. This is the intention. This is the impetus. This is the orchestration machination. So what that means is that we have something coming to us, coming towards our way. And we're supposed to get in alignment with our plan, get in alignment with, oh, okay, Taurus energy, embody our spirit, karma, life path, destiny, third house energy. And something's trying to either attach or impugn or block. Now, I don't get the full blockage yet, but the King of Swords is a block. I'm sorry, I'm going to say this, but um, the King of Swords is a jock blocker. Okay, they just like to get all up in your fun like a nun with a clicker, moderating your joy. I don't like that energy sometimes. We have a Queen of Swords, King of Swords. We have an Emperor and an Empress here. Okay, so you know what that tells me is that somebody here has an attitude problem. I spot it because I got it. Queen of Swords is a little bitter sometimes, not always, especially without the devil. But we have a five here, so of course we can take that meaning. The King of Swords is a little cruel, sometimes, not always, especially with the devil, but same thing with the Five of Wands. Five of Wands would suggest some type of karmic lesson. If it's not that, which it is, my dear, it could also be karma, conundrums, crossing, competition, compounding or contesting cacophonies of, like I said, cascading karma. To me, it feels like some karmic lesson. Us little hoes are, and I'm saying Heaux, hoe means wanting to get somebody to our level emotionally. When somebody to feel hurt, could we're hurt, or somebody wanting us to feel what they feel, something of that nature. Because there's love here on the feminine side or on our side, and there's just cruelty, sterility, severity on the masculine side. So somebody's all attitude, feeling some kind of way, wanting to impose some kind of lesson because they're in a concussed space. They tried it, they effed around, they find out, and now they feel some kind of way because it didn't work. and their little whatever, what have you, and going nowhere, and they feel some kind of way about it, and they're upset because we don't care. They're upset because they're not able to get to us, but they've um, assigned or given the narrative that if we don't have to shed a tear or la di da or yada yada, then whatever they think in their little mind, whatever they feel in their little heart, and I'm diminishing it like that. I'm using the exact language. They're little because they're not open to sharing, they're not open to communicating, they're not curious, investigatory, examinatory. They feel some kind of way, and whatever conclusion they've arrived at is the one that supports their narrative. So common ground comes from connection. Common ground comes from trying to understand the other side. And that's the thing, when you have a conflict and it's not about being right, it's about being well, you'll try to find common ground. You'll try to understand the other side, even if you don't agree, even if it doesn't work for you. Sometimes you're like, okay, well, I'm here at the point where I may walk away. Let me just check a couple few things before I actually do. Let me try to assist the situation before I actually bounce. Because I don't want to spin the block. I don't want to circle back around in another time, in another life, having to deal with this again. That's the better, bigger, brighter attitude. That's not what I'm seeing. That's not what I'm sensing. That's not what I'm getting. So why don't we take a look? Virtual Abundance is the galactic temple of ascension, delivering self messages from behind the veil. Today, from Etsy, we will be using the Pop-Up Love Oracle by Vital Lighted Tarot to deliberate any pairing matching energy here. So we have the King and Queen of Swords, and we have l'Imperatore e l'Imperatrice, the Emperor and the Empress, Libra. So there is Libra energy here, mainly the Four of Swords. That could be Jupiter and Libra, Jupiter in the 7th house. Yeah, so somebody wasn't saying something, and it's kind of mutual, but not really. It's the other side that needs to learn how to speak up. Because on our end, we're having a glow up. Don't matter, don't care. You don't want me, I don't want you. You're not gonna come get this, then you don't get this. Whatever, but have you, so on and so forth. Do what you do, but I'm just gonna move about your way. You had access to me, you didn't do no nothing with it. I'm gonna move on, move forward, leaving you behind. You can catch up if you wanna. I'm not gonna wait for you though. This one I'm getting, this one I'm hearing, this one I'm sensing, this one I'm seeing. Whatever's in alignment, whatever's fair. So we were once upon a time, or the other one had self-pity, vain, vainglorious, ambivalent, lazy, fearful, indecisive, superficial, unreliable. Okay, I know I acted as if I couldn't make up my mind about our relationship, but it was really because I was scared, scared of hurting you, scared of hurting me. Now they're trying to be romantic, charming, diplomatic, fair, idealistic, social, clever, or smart, or they're still in some kind of self-pity dialogue. I don't know what that is, what that looks like. I don't need to know. It's kind of confusing. Because somebody's focused on their whatever. They don't want to lose no nothing. We have Libra energy here, Four of Swords, and then we also have Quattro Denari. So we're in the Capricorn energy, and we're in the benevolent aspect. Well, actually, it's saying that we're both a little bit in the shadow, but we've done a little bit more to work through it. However, it hasn't manifested in the physical. So yes, we process the energy, we work through it. There's some things we need to share or some things we need to learn and figure out. So things have happened right in front of our face, but maybe we were taking things at face value, or things are not as they appear face value. And we need to use some type of cunning strategy, whatever, what have you, because we're going from in secret or sneaky, reeky, deaky, tweaky, Eight of Pentacles, a hustle, a flow, a grind, doing on that work or something in our energy, to Six of Wands. What we don't realize yet is that we secured the thing that we want, or they secured the thing that they want. Whatever this energy, entity, ideology, now I'm just going to say it, it's a man. It's a human. It's a being in a body. If we're the male assigned or identified, then we're dealing with the feminine assigned or identified. Most likely, 85% of the audience is feminine, female, bodied or identified or assigned, whatever works for you, whatever's in alignment, take it as it resonates. And it is how the energy works. Over here, it's the feminine. Over here, it's the masculine. Usually, normally, okay, and that's what I'm getting, that's what I'm sensing, that's what I'm seeing. Yeah, I believe the union will happen when it needs to. The universe is placing needs to. The universe is placing people, things, challenges, and more into your life when you can handle them. belief that everything in life happens exactly at the right moment. That's true, but you need to co-create with the universe. Don't just sit and wait. Luck is luck because you've taken the time to prepare for opportunity. Or luck is luck because you've made your luck. Okay, yes, when you take risk in life, you take reward in life, but you need to also have the ability to recognize opportunity when it comes across the path. We can co-create with the universe, which means we need to be open to receiving, which also means we need to have an awareness of the energy we're putting out into the world, or at least having been in a pattern, in a cycle of setting our intention. This wordless is here, and it's a shared energy. Words are jumbled, or words were left unsaid, unable to speak or unwilling to say the truth, too much in their head, and unable to express their emotions rationally. I'm getting something here. I'm really just getting something here. Okay, I'm hearing a narrative, and it's back to love. This is breaking my heart. Well, let's do the Emperor Empress. Oh. Attached doesn't always mean to another person. It could mean to some BS, some delusion, false narrative. It could also mean to their job or to the drama that's going on in their life. Because I don't see third party here. So attached doesn't always mean, because attached and third party would definitely mean another human. But um, this says attached to outer turmoil, attached to drinking, attached to intuition. So we're in a forgiveness mode. So one thing that's going on is we were attached to letting things go. We were attached to acknowledging our feelings and taking whatever happened and going back to the drawing board and pouring through the experience and the thoughts and the feelings and the behaviors, whether that was working for us or not. Because sometimes people wallow and wail and whine and yell and yodel and quabble and quibble and they don't pick it up and keep it moving. Sometimes people get butthurt for a day or two and that scabs over and they grow stronger. But on the opposing side, not our side, there is some kind of outer turmoil, whatever that is, whatever that looks like, that's what's going on. And then, something we may or may not know is that there's some tapping out. So I think with us, we're believing whatever we're told, and that's not the way to go because there's some hidden meanings. Sometimes people just gonna say it in a harsh way, and I don't mean to be harsh. I'm gonna say that differently. I'm not gonna say it in a harsh way. I'm going to take the unpopular stance. I'm going to be in an unfavorable position. I'm going to have the unfortunate job of delivering some cold, hard, maybe even harsh facts. You cannot be at peace with a person who's at war with themselves. Somebody who's not honest with themselves cannot be truthful with us. Somebody who has no ability to even see themselves is not going to recognize us fully. So that's some of this narrative here because we're taking things at face value or we're taking them for what they say or how they say or la-di-da or yada-yada, so on and so forth, whatever, what have you. Okay. And then shucking and jiving, massaging and sweating to hide the truth and protect their feelings. That's really what that is. Now, there's some kind of intuitive connection. This is the shared energy, but it's predicated upon attached. So afraid of the unknown, karmic ties and responsibilities. Perhaps you're in a committed relationship with somebody else, but it's probably some bullshit, some karma, some crazy, some loloka, some delulu, some cascading cacophony of compounding karma or conundrums or spirit contestation or something of that nature. Maybe they're even competing with us to kind of get to the point before we do, but they're drinking the Kool-Aid, perhaps listening to others, but they're really disregarding their own feelings is ultimately what I'm getting. Because we had wordless before with the king and queen, and that's why we're committed to being the king and queen. They're a couple that are in some kind of estrangement if it's romantic. If it's non-romantic, that means they're ruling together or they are going out and competing, like fighting somebody else. They're united in conflict. So if there's love involved, it's conflict against each other. If there's no love involved, it's conflict against somebody else. So that's just what that is. And then a little bit more with the drinking the Kool-Aid, because it's not us drinking the Kool-Aid, it's them. See, we keep forgiving, we keep believing whatever we're told, but this person's falling apart. When they get up and it all falls down, I'm telling you up and it all falls down. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. It's their life is falling apart. Poor baby. Poor thing. Battles, arguments, unnecessary conflicts feels their world is falling apart, literally. Physical world filled with chaos, confusion, and destruction. That's this five of wands here for them. So no wonder they're four of swords, needing to rest, needing to heal, needing to get a grip, okay? Because it's ooga booga too much. They're overwhelmed, they're overstimulated. Okay? Poor baby. I hope you work that out. Wishing you peace and happiness in this life and the next. Blessings be upon you. May your path be illuminated. May your steps be ordered. May you find the illumination, the enlightenment in this lifetime. Anapana, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive us. Thank you. May you find your path in this life. May you find the medicine in this life. May you enjoy the path that you're on and the journey that you're walking. Thank you for your service. See you at the top. Come through and I will dance with you. Because intuition here. So, a light bulb moment and realization is shared between the two of us. But I think for one side, they're realizing that they're not connected to who they should be. That's the intuition for them, that they're not connected to the place that gives them joy and happiness. They were putting their time, their energy, their effort, and their attention. They were yoking themselves, committing themselves to something that only depleted them or even enslaved them. And they might have been on that thug thistle, that hustle, that grind, that flow, that whatever, what have you, but it's not about that juice, it's not about that base. I don't think it's life-giving. I think they were attuned or attached or aligned to something that really wasn't for them. It didn't serve them or didn't feed them. It didn't fill them up. It didn't pour into them. It actually depleted them in some kind of way. Direct knowledge from source without rational thought, a deep knowing and understanding without evidence, light bulb moments or realization. It finally dawned on me why I feel so drawn to you and why our connection is so intense and scary. I'm starting to understand my fears and my overwhelming emotions towards you. Okay. Like I said, I hope you work that out. Peace be upon you. Blessings to your healing. So this illumination, enlightenment, maybe even enumeration here, and it grows into there's some passive aggression on our side. So we can be compassion fatigued. I don't know what that is, what that looks like, but something feels like it's agitating our compassion, our heart. That's one thing, Mother Effa. Let me tell you this one little time here. You will not tap dance all over my feelings. If I detect one iota of any of that, the door. Block, 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 blockity, block, 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 block. No. We're not gonna do that, darling. I'm so sorry. Try again in another life. Go get gone. Figure out what to do with yourself before you come back around here. But it feels like you're striving and you're trying to thrive and you're breaking out, breaking free, and you're growing out of yourself. It's fine if you're stumbling forward into greatness. You can fail into success. You can even look stupid, act stupid, be stupid, as long as you're open and honest about what's alive in you. But when you're doing all the shucking and jiving, massaging and assuaging to hide the truth and protect your feelings, and you're just kind of compounding the pain on my end, and you're not taking any accountability, there's no self-reflection. I don't got it for you. I can love you from afar. I can pray for you to God and go on about my business. I ain't got to sit here and co-sign. I'm not going to care about your feelings if you're tap dancing all over mine. There's no room, no time, no energy, no space for me to tiptoe around your little feelings when you're tap dancing all over mine. That's just what that is. And it doesn't mean that's not what I'm saying. That's not what we're trying to do, but it may be difficult. It may be hard because we have the Ace of Cups with the Five of Wands here. So that's the repose of a false heart. Ace of Cups in reverse. Okay. Now, one little thing, the other interpretation here is the truth could be shifting and changing with the Seven of Swords here. So we could have thought one thing, and then we have to pivot on our feelings, pivot on our impression, pivot on the conclusion we arrived at because the truth illuminates, enlightens, enumerates. Okay. But that's just the thing. Malice or deceit, no. Anything else, okay, both will come through. I'll see about it when we get here. But that's what I'm getting. So let's do one more little interpretation because there's something that I'm seeing here. But we could have got it twisted a little bit. There can be one little secret that we don't know about, and I'm just going to tell it to you and move on. They could be a little bit on the feminine side. Um, and I don't mean like, a maricona mentirosa. I don't mean a mariposa. I don't mean maybe. Um, just like sometimes it's the woman who has the cojones and it's the male who's nurturing. Maybe it's like a seahorse where they stay at home and take care of the kids. Even lions do it, where the men protect the family and the women go out and hunt. Seahorses, the men carry the baby to term. So it's more like that because we are the ones here with direction. We are the ones here with fortitude, with vision for the future. We're the ones here who might need to steer the ship because, what I'm getting is that there needs to be an illumination and awakening. And as tired as we are, we're going to need to open up and share love. It doesn't mean that we need to tolerate horsepucky, bullish. It doesn't mean that we need to. I don't know what else to say. I mean, I have things to say. It doesn't mean that we need to sit there and wait for more wounding or remain traumatized or in danger or in a toxic situation or in something that's not moving forward or remain attached to somebody that isn't self-reflecting, self-aware or that isn't sharing what's going on. But there is something here that isn't as it seems. Now, to be honest, if it isn't some cold, hard, harsh boundaries, it would be some deception. Because not every man that's lying is gay. I'm going to just say it like straight out. Sometimes they're really deeply emotional. And if they were to be fully emotional like that, they'd be teased, they'd be ridiculed, they would seem soft. And being compassionate and being vulnerable in your feelings is another form of strength that is still underrated in our society. However, if you're boo, if you're bae, if you're love, if somebody that you want to give your everything to and make your everything or spend the rest of your life with, if you can't open up and be vulnerable and be honest with that person, that's something else. And it's a sign of a lack of healing if you're vulnerable with a person and they don't meet you there twice or thrice and you continue to come back. That's a sign of wounding and a need for healing. And that's also a mechanism of filtering a person out of your life. If you give them 2 or 3 opportunities where you're vulnerable and they don't meet you there, that's a sign that you're free to go, regardless of what the contract is with the divine. I'm just going to say it like that because there's some action that needs to be taken, King of Wands, back to the past. Because currently there's some standards and boundaries, or there is a short sighted victory, a lack of win win. Because we wanted relationship, 2 of Cups, 4 of Wands, but it got met with severity and sterility, some kind of short sighted lose lose situation, 5 of Swords. And I'm telling you, it's on us to overcome this. Again, another narrative. Okay, this side over here that we're dealing with, they're not the ones that could deal with all that uncertainty or that they cannot be around something that feels unsafe. And it's an emotional unsafe. It's an emotional safety that I'm talking about. See, the masculine energy, whether it's identified, whether it's projected or personified, whether it's assigned, whatever, the masculine side of the spectrum, let me say it that way, they can deal with rejection a lot more than the feminine side. Think of it this way. The chasing the butterfly or the hummingbird, that's more masculine in its nature. So a feminine's not going to want to do that because the feminine would actually go about the business of cultivating a beautiful garden that attracts butterflies and hummingbirds. Does that make sense? So the seed being planted, that's the masculine. The field of which you plant the seed, that's the feminine. You don't see the earth get up and go chasing down animals. It's the other way around. The animals get sustenance from the earth. So this side over here that we're dealing with, they need some kind of successful acknowledgement of their softness or their nurturing or their creativity or whatever this is alive in them. Because something is definitely being overlooked. Okay. So I just dropped all the clarifiers on the ground. Vertex of abundance is a galactic temple of ascension, delivering sacred messages from behind the veil. If anything I said resonates deeply with you, go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, leave a review, book a session, send a donation. Smash that like button if you can. From Ripe Avocado, we will be using the minor arcana from the Cosmic Coven Tarot to deliberate any pairing energy here. So we have the Strength card and the King of Wands. We may be dealing with an Aries or a Leo. Um, Something here is really well hidden, but right in front of us. And it's this double 4 that I'm looking at. which means some type of commitment or system, structure, foundation. It's a commitment. There's a commitment here. And we're the ones second guessing because we're confused. It's almost as if we haven't been given information or we haven't sought out certain information. Yeah, I'm just going to check with Emperor and Empress. Yeah, it's a union. Okay, so if we're dealing with second house energy, and we're dealing with the moon transit in the sign of Gemini, it's a little bit more social. And it's also understanding how to navigate and negotiate things where there's intellect, reasoning, communication required. And also, we're in some kind of dynamic with another person. Normally, it's not always that with the third house, but with the second house, but since the second house is where Gemini is falling during this month, it does bring in people in. There was something that was quickly on the surface approached, and then we went on to something else. We didn't stay there and go deep. Because that also is what I'm feeling like. Sometimes when we go deep, we figure things out. We're going to pause this for a quick second. I want to blow my nose. Sometimes when we go deep, we figure things out with Aqua di Florida. And if it's surface level, we'll kind of take it at face value. So I also feel like our intuition came up when we overlooked it or bypassed it or dismissed it because it's us feeling a little bit sour or sterile because there's this energy here. It's telling us in their own way that they want union, communion, partnership with us, that they want some type of love and union. However, they came at us trying to have fun. It didn't work. They came at us being really affectionate. It didn't work, but it was kind of two-sided. Something didn't match. Either their energy didn't match with their words or the impression we were left with didn't match. Something didn't match. They're under the impression that we didn't want them at the time or that we don't want them in general. And it's affection here. Affection is being offered. So we are a little bit more high vibrational. They need to make their move and they need to be confident. That's not what they were. They feel like they got shut down or they needed to have some kind of ego death and something collapsed. They were confronted with a paradigm where they had to be merged like a phoenix. What is this? Queen of Swords. Yeah, so this is a union. This is an ordained union in the spirit that's coming forward in some kind of way, shape, form, or another. And on their side, they felt connected to us in a way where they wanted to serve this connection, but there was something in their energy which made them not do it because they were being reeky deaky, sneaky tweaky. Seven of Wands, a sideways, seditious, sneaky, trifling, treacherous, treasonous. It could have been an outright lie. It could have been something that was an imposter, meaning fake, phony, fictitious. It could have been, we have the Seven of Swords here. I feel like there were lies and short-sightedness, and it broke this connection. So why are we sitting here servicing it? Why haven't we moved on, moved forward? Well, I think maybe it's a couple few things. Either we need to take action or we need to open up the door again and show receptivity, or because I'll be honest, the thing that I'm hearing here is to flirt. And I don't think we flirt in the normal way. I don't. I think we go off what's practical or we go off what's said. And this other side, they need to have this kind of little dance or feeling or whatever, what have you. And there's nothing wrong with that. That just means there's different styles. And if you don't communicate honestly, you're going to miss those little golden nuggets. So before we had a pair of aces, the Queen of Pentacles. That's a committed relationship, especially with the Queen of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles here. So it would have taken a while, but we would have gotten into some kind of union. There's mastery here for us, because there's going to need to be some working together, or pretty soon there's going to be some third party. There may even be a third party, and very soon this is not going to be viable for us. When I see that, I just let it go. What's for me will not pass me by. I ain't got a lie to kick it. I ain't need to strive or nothing. It should come towards me if I'm in my right energy. That's how I see things. But um, there were some mistakes and infractions here, and I was pulling on a double ace, a pair of aces. So let's look one more time at these cards. And I know we've gone over time. It happens sometimes. We have surrender. So I don't know what this is. Not resisting, but going with the flow, may feel mentally and physically relaxed, letting go of judgment and being mindful in the present. Power couple, where there was severe wounding either in the present or the past, would be recent past or distant past. Yeah, because we made an agreement before we came here, and they're learning about themselves. They're actually in the realm of looking to be open, but it's going to create some pain anyways. And we had another pair of fours before. Yeah, there's union here. I just saw the Two of Cups. We need to. Um, I know you got a little fight in your love. I know you got a lot of strength left. Yeah, there's a little bit of strength left in us to push on or to carry on, and it's good that we took a little bit of time alone. But it's so we could have seen that there was union, communion, partnership here. Should be crying, but I just can't let it show. I should be running, but I can't stop thinking. Yeah. Yeah, all the things I could have said, but I never said. All the things I could have did, but I never did. All the things that you wanted from me. All the things that you needed from me. Yeah, because look, their illusion, confusion is now creating distress and anguish. Nine of Swords. Give me that moment. Seven of Pentacles here. Give me that little kiss. Bring that moment back. Bring that moment back to me. Tower and the Hangman is passive aggression, though. We have to approach the throne, and I don't do this for the daily videos, but this was such a heart-wrenching. We have to go to the matrikas. So I'm just going to This is highly annoying. I'm kind of agitated. I want to end this reading and purge my heart chakra. Okay, so we only have 1-3, so it's not going to take forever. Let's hope. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the Three of Pentacles through. I'm going to query spirit, because I'm also getting one thing as well, but I don't see it in the baneful. Like, I don't see strong magic against this. What I see is, because I do see a Seven of Pentacles with the Three of Pentacles. That makes some kind of altar. And we're in a holding pattern right now. Four of Swords could be, um, pinned down in a jar, some type of energetic barrier, quarantine or freeze or whatever, what have you, so on and so forth. And I'm looking at any type of interference, the Five of Swords. I'm looking at the covenant in our life as well. And this is something that we were promised. We were supposed to get into this energy and work with it, but for whatever reason, the devil got online because it wanted to interrupt, interfere with whatever kind of, you know, spiritual inheritance we had. And um, honestly, we needed to learn to navigate through boundaries because I don't want to say we need to save this person, but we needed to perceive beyond the veil here. That's the obstacle. The reason why this whole little thing didn't come through, pull through, come hard, come harder. We're gonna have to go back in a second time, or we may need to even approach them. That's the thing I've been fighting, saying this whole time, because I don't ever believe a woman should be chasing after a man ever for any extra reason. Okay, but that's what I'm getting. That's what I'm sensing. That's what I'm seeing. And we're gonna run this Three of Pentacles through and see what's going on. Because that could be a cabal. That could be energy work. I mean, if there is energy work, it would be somebody trying to steal our blessings, Four of Wands, because of some kind of pinning in a jar, Four of Swords. And then we have the Four of Swords here, along with the Four of Pentacles, right? See, this is something where God intervened. And again, we have this King and Queen of Swords. And there's Libra energy here, so it could be, we could have seventh house aspects matching each other or interacting with each other positively, or usually swords are in opposition, but this would mean somebody's a Libra moon, somebody's a Libra sun, or somebody's a Libra IC or south node, and somebody's a Libra midheaven or north node. That so we could also be dealing with Cancer Capricorn rising or Libra, or I said Libra, but Gemini moon, Gemini sun, or um, a Pisces or Virgo rising. We could be dealing with that as well. Yeah, but we're over here asking for another chance. That's what I'm hearing in the narrative. Okay. Um, and it very well may have been some type of, I'm hearing the word obfuscation, but I'm not seeing it. I'm confused by that because obfuscate means to hide. So somebody hid their whatever. And it's saying that we were the one who hid something. That this other side might have been open and honest about their feelings. I don't sense it. I don't get it. I don't see that. It doesn't make no sense to me. But okay. But there's something here about feelings were masked or not seen or whatever or what have you. Yeah, because there's a loss here. And with the Five of Wands, that could have been a karmic lesson. And this other side is the one that's going to lose, even if we walk on by. But I don't see an Eight of Cups. I don't see a Five of Cups. I don't see the Death card. I see the Five of Swords is not on our side. So this is a mission failure that's going to hit them in another lifetime. And I hope we don't have to come back to Earth just to get with this person in another life. But that is what I'm getting here. Yeah, love of my life, you are my best friend. Yeah, so maybe we need to just offer friendship now, but we need to go away for a little bit and handle up on our feelings because we're going to be salty for a little bit. But this person does need love and compassion. Yeah, because there's some kind of, well, we have to surrender and sacrifice. That's just what it is. Between the Five of Cups, whatever is to the left of it is what happened, whatever's to the right of it is what's going to happen. So to the left of it is the Ten of Swords, a collapse of some kind, ego death, betrayal, backstabbing, illumination, enlightenment. To the right of it is the Hangman, surrender and sacrifice. So let's take a look and see what's about to happen. Let's turn the wheel, literally. Yeah, Five of Swords came back. The covenant in our life, so we need to activate them. But okay, so we've had three fives in the same position: Five of Pentacles, Five of Swords, Five of Cups, and now we're back to the Queen of Swords. I feel like the moment came and we discovered it too late, or we didn't hear what we needed to hear, so we didn't open up and be vulnerable. It could be the same on their side, or it was them that didn't open up and be vulnerable. And we needed to work with what we had, and we didn't do that. Um, that's what I'm getting. That's what I'm sensing. That's what I'm seeing. I want to pull on this 777 because I didn't know we had a triple. We had a 777 here. I thought it was a 777. It's from the other side. An alert. This person was ready to make a commitment or wanted a commitment. They were seeking a commitment, and it was mutual. They were chosen. They didn't. They might have not realized it. They might not have seen enough. But we were unassailable. It seems we couldn't make it through our energy. There's something to learn because there's a disappointment here. What they wanted was, but I'm detecting a lie. So I'm going to say something, and there's two routes here because I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you. Okay, we might have thought something. They were together with somebody. They didn't want us, whatever, and it wasn't true. But we were supposed to deal with that instead of just withholding whatever we withheld. We might have stopped giving energy or stopped participating or whatever. It's what I'm getting. Because what they wanted was for us to make a commitment. And that didn't happen. That got canceled out. Because, in fact, we needed them to have confidence towards us, and that's not what they did. We needed them to boldly say, like, hey, I'm feeling you, I want to connect with you. Because what's after this is them being single, but it's not something that we necessarily know. it might not be something that's out in the open. So I don't have the time to go forward with this. I've got to move on. Um, but it's been an honor and a privilege and a pleasure to serve. Thank you for allowing me to do so. I do see reunion coming back. It's not something to hold on for, to wait. It's something to internalize and move forward, because this passive aggression is going to turn into post-traumatic stress. And we've got to pray or ask or something to the divine for whatever. So take good care. See you in the next one. Until we meet again, until we meet again, namaste, dhanavad, and face. Sayonara, dakvidanya, vida zane. This is a quick prayer for all those still lost out there to illusion, delusion, confusion. Lost in the seas of time, trapped somewhere in the matrix, yet to heal, yet to awaken, yet to return to the resplendent grace of the divine, unconditional, loving, universal oneness. Anapanapana, we love you. We're sorry. Please forgive us. Thank you. We pray that you find salvation and redemption in this lifetime, that your steps are ordered and your path illuminated. May you be well, may you be happy, may you be whole, may you be at peace, may you receive everything you ever wanted, starting with what you deserve. Until we meet again, until you read again, go ahead and smash that like button, and we'll see you in the next one. Take good care. Bye-bye.